So once I had won the GCAC Art Unites Columbus grant, I was questioning what type of film I should do because since it's supported, I had the time and the funds to actually venture out if I wanted to. And the style that I always use is documentary. And based off all the things that I recorded, all of the things that I had, the interviews from people, the art that I got on camera, the conversations over the phone, everything I could do to make sure that this documentary happened. It was so raw that I could not change the form that it was given to me. If I changed the form in which it was given to me, it would no longer exist the way it was presented. The way that I heard it, I wanted other people to hear it. What I saw, I wanted other people to see it. As much as I do have respect for the arts and it's a part of my documentary, I wanted to make sure that it was literally just everything that was given to me how it was and put out there for people to see it so they could feel what I had to feel and they could see what I had to see as this documentary started to come to life. What's interesting is the most important part of the documentary for me to highlight was the healing aspect. We need to make sure that we highlight that because as of now, people are tired. People are fighting for their lives. They're fighting for other people's lives. They're fighting for their children, their jobs. It's a pandemic going on. It's racial injustices. All this stuff is going on at the same time. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with documenting the truth. But as I was just saying, the rawness of what I got was actually the healing component. When I say rawness, I'm not talking about a person that's angry or a person that's frustrated. I'm talking about a person that'll do anything to heal themselves, that'll connect with people in any way, shape, or form as they're free and as they're capable of doing so and making sure that that healing happens. That's why I got Adrienne Hood, the mother of Henry Green that was killed by plainclothes police officers. The reason I got her in the film is because she has taken that whole experience and turned it into something no one ever imagined or saw coming. A lot of times when someone gets killed, a young black man, they go to their mother and interview him, and the mother will say a couple of words, and after that it's all over with. You really don't hear from them or see them anymore. But she's fighting for new policy. She's out there protesting. She's always speaking about it. So even though she may be dealing with the pain, she has found multiple ways of healing. And also in the documentary, what you saw was the event that she had where she called on all of the mothers that lost somebody. Mostly the mothers that had lost their sons, and they had an event where they just sat there with each other and talked and hugged and said kind things to each other and about their children. And that right there is something that I believe everyone needs to see in this city. Yes, get behind people as they're fighting, but also remember that people need healing and you got to support them when it comes to that too. So creating this documentary in the middle of COVID-19 taking place and all of the injustices that were occurring all at the same exact time, people losing their jobs, emotional distress, everything you can think of was taking place. And as much as I tried to fight against it, I'm connected to people that are going through stuff, and I'm going through some of my own things too. But in the process of making a documentary with all of those things is making sure I didn't exploit someone. It's one thing to tell the stories of people that you know or people that you have never met, people you respect, but you can't exploit them, because now what happens is I'm talking about a person that's lost their home, a person that don't have any money, a person who had to drop out of school, a person whose son got killed, a person who has absolutely nothing, and put them in the forefront and ask everybody to feel sorry for them. And I understand that sometimes it's a genuine attempt when people do that, but who wants to be the person that feels like a charity case or somebody that everyone has to feel sorry for? Nobody wants that. And as a person that documents a person's lives or a person's art, I have to be careful and not crossing that line and discuss everything that's going on with the documentary, letting them know, hey, this is what I want to talk about. This is something I'm thinking or feeling, and are you comfortable with talking about that with me? and giving them the option to say no. Because the last thing you want to do is document a moment that lasts for a lifetime and a person doesn't like it or approve of it. That's a challenge. That's a serious challenge, and anyone that picks up a camera and puts it in people's faces as they're dealing with vulnerable moments, if you're not thinking about that, then you probably should be doing something else, because it's just not cool. It's really not cool to do. So what artists inspired my work, y'all? I'm gonna have to keep it strictly local, because Columbus has so much talent. Hakeem Caldwood, that's my dude. One of the reasons I say that is because I remember when we were at an event together, we was just talking, and we was talking about all the stuff that we wanted to do. So this is before all the things was happening for both of us. But we had this conversation, and he said to me, he was like, anything that you do, you should treat it like a job. You go to your job and you'll work 6 hours straight, but when it comes to your art, you'll find reasons to not do it and procrastinate and make excuses. And I think he told me that Brian Moss told him that, if I'm correct. So Brian too. But when I heard that and I saw what he was doing in his drive, I just knew. I was like, wow, this dude is serious, and I gotta take my craft a little bit more serious. So big ups to Hakeem for that. Is Lisa McClymond. Lisa is one of my favorite artists. I remember when I knew she was. She has this thing called Universe Tribe series, where it's wood. It's like sanded down wood, and it's like colors in people's faces of them just smiling or just looking off into the distance, and it looks so real for some reason. And like pieces of the wood will be used for features of the face or the hair or something somehow. So when I saw that, I'd never seen anybody else do that the way Lisa does. So after that, I was like, yeah, she's one of my favorite artists, and she's an amazing person too, so that doesn't hurt. David Michael was one of the very, very first artists that I seen create in Columbus, Ohio. The first art show I've been to was one that he curated too. And he is unapologetic when it comes to representing black women in his art. All of Transit Arts, I really don't need to say much. Transit Arts is an organization that has children of all different walks of life that comes and shows their creativity, and they do it on a consistent basis, and it's top-notch quality. If you don't know about them, it's time to learn about them. Francesca Miller, she was in a documentary, of course, but I saw Francesca blossom into the artist that she is as of today. And I remember when she did her very first mural. This wasn't in a documentary, but her first mural, I went out there and I recorded it. As of today, that mural was painted over. And that was heartbreaking for me, so I can imagine how heartbreaking it was for her. But as of now, you've seen in the documentary, she has murals all over throughout the city. So seeing her go through the process of believing in herself and what she created not being respected, to the whole city respecting her and knowing her name now, is a beautiful thing. And this is her art right here. This is her art right here. So I rock with Francesca. Love you, sis. It's Counterfeit Madison. There is absolutely no human being on this planet Earth that is more prepared to be themselves 24/7 than Sharon of Counterfeit Madison. So that's one of the biggest struggles I think most people have, is wondering, okay, how do I dress? How do I talk? Do I let people know who I'm connected to? Sharon don't care. Sharon don't give a damn. When it's time to sing, she gonna sing. When it's time to play instrument, she gonna play instrument. She can wear the colors she wanna wear her hair the way she wanna wear it. You gotta respect that. Scott Woods, no, we are not related. Just got the same last name. But think about Scott. A guy that is that well known, is praised for his work, is that intelligent, could easily remove himself from people that he's around and live his life any way he sees fit. But he always finds a way to make space for other artists. And if you're just now getting started and you need an opportunity, he will give you that opportunity. And he will make sure that you create at all costs. And last but not least is by far the most important person probably in my whole life, Richard Dewar Brown. But I kid you not, everything that I've done up to this point can be traced back to him and what it is that he's done and shown me. He's put me, I out of all of the paintings that he's made, I think I am his most frequent subject. Introducing me to the art scene and giving me insight to how to be business savvy, how to protect my craft, how to create and not let my emotions or other people sway me and push me in a different direction. And as you go through your journey becoming an artist, it's scary because you definitely can be impacted by other people's opinions and what they want you to do, and you won't be the artist that you naturally are. So Dewar taught me how to protect myself as an artist and to continue to do what it is I've always wanted to do without second guessing myself and not thinking too deeply about how other people feel. It's just when you feel something inside of your spirit and inside of your heart, you just got to do it and finish it. And once it's done, if you want to get rid of it, throw it away, trash it, you can. But give yourself an opportunity to just finish. And usually when you do, you appreciate yourself that much more and your art that much more. So Dewar is by far the most important artist to me, one of the most important people to me.
It was like, yeah, we proudly have so many students from all these different countries. And it's like, okay. But then you have this big ass Christopher Columbus statue in the middle of your campus that doesn't represent that like at all. I'm just glad that that Columbus State finally decided to do something, because it's not a true representation of the campus. It's not a true representation of the city. It's part of it.
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
Say his name!
George Floyd!
Say her name!
Breonna Taylor!
Say his name!
George Floyd!
Say her name!
Breonna Taylor!
Say his name!
George Floyd!
Say her name!
Breonna Taylor!
Just as human beings, we inherently want to take care of people. When something is wrong, like, you speak up that it's wrong. It's okay to step up and fight for people. I always felt like it was a time where you would almost get shunned because you stepped up or you spoke up for somebody.
I like to think of my role in this whole art as a form of protesting as a medic, so to speak. I'm going out on the battlefield and I'm wanting to supply aid to those who are out there marching. Just the way that people were responding to it just kept affirming that, wow, this really is needed. We really do need this in this time. People coming up to you, crying, saying thank you, and just expressing to you how it makes them feel that you're doing that. I was like, okay, this is where we're needed. This is where the world sees the value in artists and what we bring to the table.
So as an artist, it's hard not to paint if you paint from your spirit, or write or talk or express or create what's really inside of you. When I paint, it's like I'm processing, and then I get answers and clarity comes. But if you comfort somebody in the middle of the mess or the middle of the pain, that is the biggest hope that I want for me.
Because of how I lost my son being killed by Columbus police officers, there are a lot of things that I have learned about the system per se, the laws within the system that are absolutely not okay.
I cleaned out my purse and I came across Mr. Dewar's card. So I reached out to him and emailed him. He responded, and this thing took off. I really just wanted y'all to have a place to talk about your loved one without the media's narrative, because that's all the community knows, is what the media says. And our family members are defined by so much more. So I wanted a space for us to love, to be loved, to share love, and tell our story the way we want to tell our story.
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
Black lives matter!
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 Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
Thank you for documenting